Hi, Tim again. So good to see everyone, once a month. And here we go again. It's the third stakeholder engagement workshop for the iBEAM, our auto assessment automation system. So welcome everyone. Hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy, especially in times, we're in the fourth wave of this COVID. So everyone stay well, wear your mask, and enjoy the workshop. Yeah. So let's get started. So we have we have quite a number of items today for this workshop, and we will have a system demo later on this evening to show you guys what we have so far for this iBEAM development. So here's the rundown for the workshop. So the first item will be the highlights. So we received quite an overwhelming response from each of you in regards to how you want us to develop the iBEAM. So we have gathered your opinions and we did some analysis. So we will show you the highlights later on as the first item. And then after we show you the highlight, we will have the elaboration on the iBEAM design and the feature, particularly to provide all of you some key updates to this iBEAM design and a first look of the knowledge database. Then we'll have a system demo, and then I'll wait forward and some time for some Q&A. All right. So let's get started. So the first item, the highlights of response from the second stakeholder engagement workshop. So what do we have? First of all, thank you so much for your continued support of our stakeholder engagement workshop. We're very thankful to have a 96% overall satisfaction on the overall design framework and the features of the iBEAM. So thank you so much. And we have almost 200 attendees, attending the stakeholder engagement workshop, and we have received 206 response, of which 161 of them was provided to us before the online replay. So thank you so much for your continued support, and we will continue to design our iBEAM, with you guys, in our mind, the user experience in our mind. So what do we get out of this, the questionnaire? So some of the highlights, from the response. So 98% of you guys want to have a centralized platform to manage the information by Hong Kong Green Building Council and BEAM Society. Particularly, this item is mentioning about the project information and how you store your rating and so on and so forth. So thank you so much, and we'll proceed with that. And 92% of the stakeholder wants to have a simplified version of the assessment report. Yes, this is quite important for us, because we understand that the assessment report, everyone wants to make it simplified, clear and concise, to show the important items, in the assessment report. So we'll go ahead and simplify the assessment report, based on this response. And then 95% are in favor of the auto-save features every 5 minutes. So as mentioned last time, in the last engagement event, basically this auto-save function, we have it here just in case you might get boot off because a power outage, or your online connection it got disconnected. So we want to have this auto save feature just to protect your work from in case you get boot off. So 95% of you want this feature to be enabled and to save every 5 minutes. So we'll go ahead and do this. And then 97% of the participant wants to have a grace period to migrate into this iBEAM system. So this item talks about a step-by-step migration from this file, this FTP-based paper approach, assessment to this iBEAM system. So of course, with this overwhelming response, we will go ahead and have this migration, later on when we rolled out the iBEAM. So what this tells us, okay, so we will take your views into account, and what we do is we have already talked with our IT consultant to have this autosave feature to be enabled every 5 minutes, and we will have a simplified assessment report. In fact, we have worked with our our team to simplify some of the work. I mean, we are already working with our team to simplify the assessment report to make it more concise and and more clear when if you're using the iBEAM to do an assessment and issue a report. So this is some of the key actions that we will do in the coming coming days. And there are some issues that we really need to focus on, when we do this, when we go ahead and continue to develop the iBEAM. And there are 3 items. So the first item is we will implement this put off function. What this means by put off function is somebody, when somebody logs off, goes into the eForm, they occupy the eForm, but unfortunately they forgot to sign off. So how do we put them off? Because maybe somebody just leave it there and they just go and have a coffee and then they might come back and do some other thing. But if we accidentally put them off, then there might be some issues, in regards to this put off function. So we will have to further explore how we're going to design this put off function to make it more user friendly and more compatible for all the stakeholders. We have to explore the digital signature, any alternative, because digital signatures, this involve a lot of security issues. So we do have to look into what are the alternatives there. Are we going to have a picture file, so on and so forth, as a digital signature, or do we need to add some encryption to the digital signature? So something that we need to explore, and probably later on to talk with each of you. And then the knowledge database features, what to be included in the knowledge database, and whether or not we will have to impose a charge for using this knowledge database. So these are the items we get out of this, and we'll further explore it later on when we do more stakeholder engagement with all of you. Okay, so that was a highlight. So today we will show you some elaboration on the iBEAM design feature. So some of the key updates we got on we want to provide to you, and then the knowledge database. So before I go with the updates, I want to remind all of you to check out our new iBEAM website. It's already online. We upload the iBEAM webpage, I believe it was last Friday. So check it out. Or maybe I could click the link and check it out. Can I? Yeah, I can, right? So I'm asking my colleagues. So let me check it out. So if you go into our webpage, basically under the SPIN Plus Assessment Tools tab, you see our iBEAM. So this is a new page. What this new page provides is a comprehensive, the development process, gives you an overview of what this iBEAM automate assessment system is and what are the new updates. So for example, today is the 3rd stakeholder engagement. We provide all this information for you. So you can have the up-to-date information on what's going on with this development of the iBEAM. And then if in case you miss our previous stakeholder engagement workshop, you can check out the videos. So it's embedded here, and the timeline, how we approach this stakeholder engagement, and how we're going to further proceed with the development of the iBEAM. And then we have some FAQ. These FAQ are, well, put it this way, the FAQs are work in progress. So we have some FAQ put up there, based on the questions we receive from the user. So we will add more questions and answers on this FAQ as we proceed, to give people an idea of how we're going to proceed with the development, or how the iBEAM will function, later on. So more FAQ will be reported. Yeah. So this is the website. So going back to the PowerPoint slide. So more to come. Stay tuned. Yes. The second update we want to provide to you is the project account. Last stakeholder engagement, if I recall, we talked about we will have 1 project administrator and 8 active project users. So we received quite a number of feedbacks from the industry saying that that's not enough, because because each project team, they will have multiple consultants. They will also have multiple sub consultants, maybe going into the project and making some amendments to the project submission or uploading document. So based on the response we got from each of from a lot of stakeholders, we actually go in to do some exploration, and then we come up with this new proposal on the project account. So later on, each project will get one project administrator, which is pretty much the master, the person that that manage the overall project. It has the authority to do whatever he wants with the project. And we will also have 12 active project users, which is pretty much the people that makes the assessment or make a change to the assessment. So that those are the active project user. And we will have what we call a 37 project user. And these project users are simply the user that just have the authority to read the submission. So so how this will all work out. So here's the slide. So last time, as I mentioned, that we only have this project admin account and a project user account. So now we expand the project admin account to project user account. I mean, we did not expand the project admin account. Sorry, we expand the number of project user account from 8 to 12. So pretty much the project user account, you get the same authority, as we mentioned last time. You can edit the e-form, and then you could assign one of them, either the project admin or project user, as a BEAM Pro, and the BEAM Pro is the person that is responsible to make the submission. So if you want to make a submission, you need to assign BEAM Pro, because we have the BEAM Pro that's a suitably qualified person. So obviously we need to have a BEAM Pro. And the BEAM Pro is also, they can also make and edit the general form and the fact sheet, the important information, and they can also help the project admin to assign the the user account. So that's the authority for BEAM for the project user being a BEAM Pro. In addition, we do have something called like the project user, which is not really an active user, which is really just someone, maybe a sub consultant, he was there for 30 days just to make a submission, and then he moved out. But in case the project admin wants the project user to view the submission or to validate what he put in, what he uploaded in the submission, you can use the project user account to read the assessment content, and to communicate with the project admin account to see what kind of changes you need for your project. So we add this additional features just to just for the non-active user, they could read the assessment content, so on and so forth. So that's the changes we made in regards to the project user. Okay, so here's the exciting part. So knowledge database. So currently we do, if you go to our website, we have FAQ, we have the technical circular, so on and so forth. And you go into that page, it takes a lot of time for you to browse around, looking for the right information. So later on, with this knowledge database, everything is sorted the way you want it to be. So for example, on the top is you could sort it by this BEAM plus 1.2, the versioning. You could do a search function, to search the whatever FAQ you want, and then everything will be all laid out in a very user-friendly way, for you to seek the information, whether the FAQ is valid or not. So we will have the FAQ here, and then you can see also the other tab. There's a menu. So later on, we're also thinking about digitizing the menu onto this knowledge database instead of having this PDF file that you download and you have to search for the information. So there's a digital menu up in the knowledge database. Technical circulars here. We're also thinking about having some sort of CIR or even appeal. But if in case someone wants to share this information to the industry. So if they want to share the information into the industry, certainly we'll want to publish it just to give people a sense of what's going on with the assessment. So kind of a knowledge sharing. All right. One of the features that we really want to make an improvement on the knowledge database is the keyword search, because you want to find certain information onto the database with a lot of PDF or maybe just a web page, it's hard to find such information. So what we have incorporated in our design for this knowledge database is the keyword search. So for example, in this case, you want to search for something with the commissioning. So let's say you want to type in the word commissioning, and where it says the word commissioning in the BEAM menu. So what you do is you type in the word commissioning, and then you could just sort by the tools, and basically it comes out with a result. It comes up with the information, the description of or something related to commissioning. So you could really sort it out, and then and find the right information based on this keyword search. Okay, so so that was the update to the knowledge database. So now we're going to do a little demo session. So recall from last stakeholder engagement, we just did a very short demo on the e-form. So today we're very excited to tell you that we'll do more than e-form. So we have maybe, let's say, 60 to 70% of the assessment ready to show you. So let's get started. Yes. All right. So this is all work in progress. So in case you guys see anything awkward, or something that doesn't make sense, please do not voice out for now, or maybe you could just remind us. But certainly we're making changes, so don't feel kind of awkward because we have something like something that isn't right. So we're doing adjustment. Before, of course, we're doing a lot of adjustment. After all this development phase. So let me log in. Actually, this will be the login page. In the future when you log on to iBEAM. But of course, this is all subject to change. We might add a few, instruction to show you how to log in. But this is how the login should be. And for the login page, before you log in, if you have some questions, you don't have to log in. You can also ask the question. So we have incorporated this iBEAM item. So what is this iBEAM item? So let's click here. So if you have specific inquiry, you could just click the iBEAM button and you type in your name, company email, so on and so forth, and you submit it, and it will go to the person, the right person to respond to your queries inquiry. So you could ask subject you could ask about registration, payment, agreement, so on and so forth. So this is something instead of now you send an email to us, you could use this portal to make your inquiry as you do the BEAM assessment. So here it is. Let me close this one up, and then let me try to log in. So, there we go. Okay. So this will be the what we call the project main page. So the project main page, we have an inbox. So inbox on the top tells you what are the outstanding items you need to pay attention. So whether it is a registration you need to complete, whether it's a assessment agreement you need to sign, or maybe a payment you need to settle, everything will be on here. Either it's in a calendar view or it could be on this view. But now nothing is here, so basically no records to be displayed. But as you can see, we sorted out the registration, finance, and assessment. So even if you have the response, a BAS comment, everything will be listed in here. So so something you could have a you could action right away based on what is listed in here. And then your recent projects. So for example, anything you recently assess, whether you have recently read the project, or whether you have recently make a change to the project, everything you recently assess is on here on the left. And then the right hand panel, we have some essential functions. So let's say you want to file a credit interpretation request. You can click here. If you don't have a project and you want to browse around the the credit summary, we have something called a self-assessment. So you could download this, not really download it, you can click in here. There's a credit summary you could play around with, and then once you're done with the credit summary, you could download in an Excel, and then you could use it to talk with your project team, or to make a to derive a strategy for the assessment. So this is the self-assessment, and I'll show you guys later on this. The credit library is the knowledge database which I just showed you guys just now in the PowerPoint slide. Likewise with the FAQ. And then there's also iBEAM function. This iBEAM function is the same as the one that I just showed you just now before we log in. So everything is all organized. Oh, one more thing, there's a latest news. So let's say if we have, we make some changes to the technical circular, or we make some changes to the technical assessment, the latest news will show you. So as you can see, this is organized in such a way that you could you understand the information, what it is, for this BEAM Plus assessment. So let me log into the project page. So project. So let's say we have this project. It's 20201235. Okay. So let me go view. So this is a project page. Okay. So the project page, it tells you, whether the timeline, whether your project registration, what you need to do, the assessment, the different rounds of assessment. So for this project, we have a multiple provisional assessments of PPA 1, 2, 3, and then final assessment, so on and so forth. Any outstanding item like that is relevant to your project. So for example, you have a assessment, you need to provide response. It will tell you in the inbox, and then the agreement, so on and so forth. It all organized in a way you will know what's going on with your assessment. So there are also some key features on the right hand side. So the key features, for example, like the project info fact sheet, which I could click just now. Okay, so this project info fact sheet is the same as the project info fact sheet many BEAM has been filling in your assessment. So we digitize it. So basically, you fill in the same information, all the timelines, so on and so forth. It provides the same function as the project info fact sheet. So for example, the owner, who's the owner, you type everything in. So instead of filling in the Word file, you fill in a web-based form. So this is the project info fact sheet. And then once you click submit it, it stores into your project file. So that's the project info fact sheet. And then we also have an agreement, and the agreement, it tells you, which agreement you need to settle, so on and so forth. And there's a standardized template. All you need to do is click a download button, and then you download the agreement. But unfortunately, the downloading of the agreement, we have some bugs today, so we're not going to download it today. But as you can see, you could easily retrieve any agreement template you need to download to proceed with the assessment. And then once you download the agreement, we usually you need to send us the hard copy of the agreement. But we add a new function here. Sorry, this is also, we need to debug. So we also add a new function here to allow you to upload a signed agreement and to store into your file. So, this is like the choose file. Once you choose the file, you start upload, and then the offer, and then click the offer button. It stores the agreement on the system, saying that you have executed the agreement. So prior to this system, now, or put it this way, now when you do an assessment, you need to sign all the agreements, so on and so forth. But you have to deal with, ask a courier to send it to us. So later on, we will have this, all this be digitized. So without really, having a lot of courier, paying for courier, or asking somebody to courier the agreement to us. So we have this function enabled, have it digital. All right. So that's that. And then we also have some, let's see, e-project file, something I can show you. So the e-project file is all the file that you have uploaded into our system. So for example, submission, we have 2 files uploaded. Minutes. So minutes is a function, it's a new function. It's like an email system. All right. So now, if you want to talk with our officer, you send an email to us. The minutes later on is like a email system on the iBEAM. So you upload your document, or you send a notice through this minutes to get to touch base with our officer to get your question resolved. So this is a minute, and then folio is really the file that you have you store in the folder. So this project file is a single page where you could retrieve your file, to find the files that you need for the assessment that you have uploaded in the assessment. And of course, we have included a keyword search, like what we did with the knowledge database, to really search the file that you need for your for you to retrieve. So this is something that the eProject file could perform, right? And of course, later on, some of these functions we're still in development, so we also have the certificate. So later on, if you want to retrieve the digital certificate for a project, you can click this button, and then you could download it right away. CIR, invoice, report, so on and so forth. So this project main page really organized in such a way you could retrieve the useful documents and information, based on what you need for your assessment. All right. So let's see. Let's go into details, shall we? So the detail. Let's try to do a credit assessment. All right. So this is a credit assessment. So it's like a credit summary. So so this credit summary allows you to set the strategy. Like for example, how many credits you want to attempt. So this is a credit summary. So how this works? So the credit summary, actually beforehand, you could click this. You could edit it. So how do we edit it? We click this button here. Okay. So so the credit summary, in the new format, we are going to have instead of just individual aspects, we also have what we call a general information form. What this general information form does is for the applicant to input some of the basic information for the project. So for example, the residence, how many occupants will occupy your building, so on and so forth, your schedule of areas, and your project program. And all this information, when you input into the system, it will automatically tie with the eForm. So basically, so for example, we go back and you have the number of occupants. So let's say this 6. So once you have this 6 occupants, it will automatically tie to the eForm. So let's say we want to calculate a water use reduction, which is based on occupant as a assumption. The information will automatically be filled into the eForm. So you don't have to fill in the same information, in different form. So the occupant, it could be for water use, it could be for indoor environmental quality. So really, you just need to fill in once, and basically the information will be there in the eForm. So what we're trying to do is we want to create a consistency of information for the entire assessment. Okay. So project program, likewise. So this is a general form. And then for example, if you want to upload the layout drawing. So here we go. So all this building surface installation, you only need to upload one set of information. It will automatically link to your to the eForm for assessment. Likewise with the equipment schedule, so on and so forth. And declaration, in the current assessment, you might need to sign. We might need to endorse every single form. So we simplify the assessment for you. All you need to do is do one single declaration, and you're good to go. So so this is a general form. So once you complete with the general form, you go into the individual aspect. This is something I would say is very user friendly in a way that it will expedite the way you present you prepare the assessment. Why would I say that? Because basically this part of the credit summary, it helps you deploy the relevant form. So for example, you just need to click whether the credit is applicable. So right now I locked it. So but later on when this is enabled, you could just hit this button, switch it from left to right. So if it's applicable, it will also help you to calculate the number of credits attempt, as well as later on you will see the eForm. Whether to tell the system to deploy the relevant eForm. So this is something that you could use very easily. So we're not going to go through this part because basically everything has been disabled for now. So anyway, so let me go back to this credit summary. So let's say we have enable and disable the relevant credits that are enable the credits that are applicable and disable those that are not applicable. based on what you have enabled and disabled, it will automatically deploy the number of eForms. So for example, if for example, if this IDCM1 is not applicable, you will see a gray arrow, and basically you cannot click the eForm. But when this is applicable, you could click it, it will turn in blue, and you could click into the form to work on your assessment. So here we go. Let's try. So here it is. So this is the eForm. So it gives you the step-by-steps to to fill in the information and to proceed with the assessment. So I'm not going to go through the details on how the step-by-step works, because that has been gone through in the last stakeholder engagement event. But today I just want to show you how you could deploy the eForm based on the applicability you selected into the credit summary. But what I do want to show you is the response to comments. So here on the right, we have organized what we call a response plane. So this response plane basically is you will see as many of you know, when you're doing the BEAM Plus assessment, basically it's a pain, really a big pain for you to really respond to a comment. Basically, we issue a comment in a PDF to you, and then you might have to ask your secretary or anyone in your office to type it into Excel or type into a Word, and then ask another colleague to do a response. So really a lot of redundancy work. But later on, when we have the iBEAM, all you need to do is follow the instructions. So for example, in here, let's see section C1. There's no comments, all right? So BAS no comments, so I don't need to respond to comments, all right? So everything is all laid out for you. But for example, this one, all right? So the general comment about this is let's say a general comment one. So how do you respond? You could agree it, you can edit it. So you don't agree it, and you could pretty much press the edit button, type in the relevant response. So let's say, for example, I want to respond and say agree. Oops, yeah, agree. There we go. Agree. Then you save it. You click the save button, and then the comment save. So basically, you respond it into this box. Okay. So again, this is some work in progress, and we'll make the relevant adjustment later on. But anyway, so this response plane really, all you need to do is respond a comment for the response plane, based on the comment issued by the BAS. Okay. So this is something that that you guys can look into in the future. And one other thing that will help you with this assessment is the generate CSV. So what is this generate CSV? So basically, I've laid out my credit strategy, like how many credits I want to achieve. So once I click this generate CSV, unfortunately today it's not working, but anyway. Somebody logged it before I do the trial, so I'm sorry. But this when you hit the generate CSV, it's an Excel. Basically, we make it into an Excel credit summary. So you could take this Excel credit summary and go to your project team to discuss with them on the strategy or the number of credits you want to attempt for the assessment. So this is something or maybe later on, put it this way, if you want to make a submission to other parties, you could easily download this CSV and get it and discuss your project on the go. So yeah, so here we are. So this is the really the work in progress for this demo. So hopefully we will have more features to show you guys in the coming days. So please look forward to it. But this is just a short demo we want to give to the participant. Yes. So let me close this window, and then we will go to. Here we go. Okay. So next slide. Okay. Way forward. Yes. So we do need your help, in the development process of iBEAM. And what help we're referring to? Yes, the iBEAM Experience Studio. Okay. Okay, the iBEAM Experience Studio. So maybe for some of you, you probably received the email already. So the iBEAM Experience Studio is a really a trial session for for all the participants to gain an exclusive access to the iBEAM user interface, the one we just showed. But of course, with more features than what we just showed today. And basically, you can navigate around this user interface, at your convenience during the iBEAM Experience Studio, and then provide your feedback, based on what you experience. So certainly, if you want to know more about, how the iBEAM system works before it rolls out, we'll certainly recommend for all of you to sign up this Experience Studio session. The Experience Studio will be held, let's say, the late December till January. So it's a 1 month, really, a trial period. So look forward to it. And the best thing about this iBEAM Experience Studio, there are a lot of CPDs, for you to get out of this. So I believe so far, I think the CPD that will be granted will be 8 hours. So very interesting and very tempting. So certainly, please sign up to this iBEAM Experience Studio, for late December and late January. And of course, here are some of the the perks for this iBEAM Experience Studio. Oh, by the way, if you sign up to the iBEAM Experience Studio, we will also have we'll also put your name onto the iBEAM webpage as an acknowledgement. So if you want to tell people that, oh, you've been part of this iBEAM development process, definitely something you want to sign up for this iBEAM Experience Studio. Oh, of course, there's some exclusive souvenirs, and I don't want to tell you guys what the souvenirs are, but right now, but it will be something very interesting. So please sign up and look forward to it. Yes. In addition to the iBEAM Experience Studio, we really want your feedback. So like what we mentioned earlier, thanks to all of you, for participating in the previous rounds of the stakeholder engagement events. We received overwhelming amount of feedback from all of you, and this feedback really helped to develop our system and to turn into what we just showed you today. And of course, we want to enhance it even further. So definitely, please spend some time to fill in our questionnaires by 15th of December. Yes, you will get some CPD hours, but more importantly is we really want your views, to consolidate it, to make sure that our iBEAM is developed the way, that's appropriate for the users. So with that all being said today, let's take some time to do a Q&A session. So let me see. I think we have a Q&A playing. So type in your Q&A into the Q&A box, and I will try to answer it one by one. Thank you. So yes, thank you, Amos. Yes, thank you for for joining us. So yes, definitely we'll collaborate further, on the iBEAM, and I look forward to your participation into our trials. Yes. Candy has a question. What is the target timeframe to launch the system? So yes, so we're planning to launch the first phase of this iBEAM in April 2021. So not so far away, but of course, we will not make it a compulsory, even if we roll it out. But maybe we have some parallel run. What that means is, on one hand, you could use the iBEAM to make a submission, and on the other hand, you could make a submission based on this the current file submission approach. So certainly, even if we roll out roll out the iBEAM in April 2021, we will have some time to give the industry, the different stakeholders, to migrate it into the iBEAM. So thank you, Candy. Yeah. So any more questions? Today is rather quiet, because last stakeholder engagement was rather active, and today it's rather quiet. So oh, by the way, I was reminded by my general manager. If you want to read what our response from our last stakeholder engagement session, please do so. Go to our iBEAM website, the one I just showed you. There was a written response. There were a lot of questions that was asked from last stakeholder engagement event, and we took the time to go through it one by one and to answer it. So in case you missed what was going on in the last stakeholder engagement event, please go to our iBEAM website to read the answers. Likewise, if you have friends that couldn't attend this stakeholder engagement event, and we will also jot down your questions, and we will also respond it one by one and to upload our website, perhaps in a due course. So surely, yes, Q&A are important, and please go to our iBEAM website. So I almost asked another question again. Will the BAS submit the assessment report to the TRC through the system as well? Yes. So the BEAM assessor will also submit the assessment report. So basically, the whole iBEAM is like a brain. It's a centralized platform. So BAS submit the assessment report through the system. Applicants submit the assessment report through the system, and we have all these central coordinating the submission from the applicant to the BAS, and then BAS making a response back to the applicant. So certainly, it's a everyone will use the centralized platform. Yes. Howard has a question. I may have missed it, but can the 37 project user upload anything to the project or change anything in the project? No. The 37 project users only have one authority, and that authority is to read only. So if you want to have that 37 project user, one day you want to upload something on it, talk to the project admin or talk to the BEAM Pro, and they will assign you back to this active project user account. Then that's when you could upload anything for the project. Until then, the 37 project user is simply a read-only account. So I hope I answered your question, Howard. Yes. Thank you, Howard. Yeah. So I'm still waiting for some questions. So we still have some time. If you have questions, do type into the question and answer box. Yeah. They have a box, right? Yeah. So I was told that there's a box. So because I've never sent a message through the user side. So I'm just usually answering the questions. Yes. Okay. So we launched a test. Apparently it works. So yeah, feel free. Yes, feel free to send in your questions. Actually, we have a number of colleagues here. So in case I couldn't answer your questions, I could ask my colleagues to answer as well. And also my general manager CS is also here. So if you have anything you want to talk about, whether probably on iBEAM, but if you have other issues you want to talk about, I'll try to get him to answer as well. Yes. Oh, thank you, Henry. Yes. Good night to you too. Oh, Yvonne asked a question. Thank you. In the iBEAM project page, look like there are different status. During review, comment issue in different categories. So the comments of different may be issued separately. Yes, Yvonne. The system is designed in this way. So basically, you could send in your comments or send in your submission by different aspect, different aspect, or even by different credits. So that is the design. But until we change the way we have in our procedure, because nowadays when you submit an assessment, you need to submit it, on a singular project, regardless of how many aspects you're attempting. So on a single project, but until we change that procedure, otherwise, you still have to submit it by project. But the design of iBEAM, actually, we do it to enable you to submit the assessment through different categories or even different credits. We're thinking about the long term, the long term on how we're going to do assessment, because uh, we have been told that somebody they want to make a piecemeal submission on the iBEAM. Of course, nowadays we couldn't do it because that would involve a lot of manual procedure or even a lot of manual process, and that's going to take a lot of time. But if we have the iBEAM and we have all this digital interface, certainly we could make a concession on this, and we could allow applicant to to submit each credit individually to do the assessment. So yes, the design of the system enables us to do that, but probably we'll think about whether we want to enable this feature initially. What, perhaps we could issue a questions to the user later on. So thank you, Yvonne. I think my team will mark your questions down, and we will certainly ask these questions in the next questionnaire and so on. Yes. So we have somebody raising their hand. What is that raising hand? Oh, never mind. So we're still receiving questions. So yes, feel free to ask away anything you have about the iBEAM. If not, if I don't receive questions, so let me see. So yes, if I don't receive any questions, so thank you for we're gonna cut it short today. Thank you so much for. Oh, actually, Yvonne asked another question. Will the launching of iBEAM, will the 45 days performance pledge be reduced? I forgot the response we have actually, but we have the same question that was asked in the last stakeholder engagement event. So I'm not going to go over this question again, because actually, you know what? Let me share the screen. Maybe we can go over it here. So we did have the response. So let me see, just in case we don't give a mixed message. Give me a second. Was trying to get away from it, but let's see. So here's the response. So the questions about reducing the pledge day, right? So this is the response we got from last time, and I believe the question refers to similar to question number 20. So last time there was somebody asked about, would the performance pledge be reduced with the aid of iBEAM? Well, again, this is the intent. Of course, we want to make it more customer oriented, and but of course we do have to review it after iBEAM is in a mature stage, because obviously reducing the pledge day really involves a lot of different parties, our assessor, our internal staff, or even the stakeholder. So of course there's also a period where people will need to get used to the iBEAM. So initially, of course, we're afraid that we don't have the room to reduce the pledge day, initially. But later on, there's something we could explore, because with iBEAM, everything should be more standardized. We have a automation to really help us reduce our manual efforts. So certainly something we could think about, as as the iBEAM matures for everybody. So thank you, Yvonne. Again, to other stakeholders, if you have any questions in mind, something that you want to that you could not think about today, but if you want to, if want to ask about, maybe later on, two ways you could get your answers. First is send us an email, and I believe it's assessment_automation@beamsociety.org.hk, or you can always visit our website, which gives you the list of question and response we get with the stakeholders. Yes. Certainly, if you want to meet us, that's also an option. But yeah, you could think about it. But of course, with COVID, so better send us an email first. Yes. Okay. So if not, we'll close for today. Okay. So thank you so much again for for participating in our stakeholder engagement. Again, please be reminded that we will have our experience studio in late December and late January, and we need your help. So please sign up to the iBEAM Experience Studio. Until then, good night, and everyone stay well and healthy. We'll be in touch. Yes, thank you.